Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
And everything's on.
And then the only buttons I got to use are just the arrows on the side here of the remote.
I actually believe it's just
the
the center.
center
Is the
button.
Oh, it's a
mouse
center?
moved
Okay.
over?
Yeah, do you want to test real quick? Just press that button and see if it runs through. We're just going to move the mouse.
Oh, okay. Yep. It just switched. So.
Yeah, it should be good. Try one more time. Yeah, okay. Awesome.
Sweet.
Okay.
And I'm going to test real quick. It was a bad clap, but it works.
I'll be right back in.
You need like one of those slate things.
Really?
Yeah.
That would be perfect. Cool. Alright. So yeah, just go through these. I think there's 12 of these images, so start with whatever you see. Very ink blotty, so.
Gotcha.
And it might not be anything right away, so feel free to if you want to run past like like Nick was saying, go at your own pace.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's the one question I was gonna ask before we start. Is like the time between the question and the answer. Since it's supposed to be an unconscious thing, I should try to blurt something as soon as I hear it.
For this stuff, top of the head.
That
the
top of the
questions you can think about them a little bit.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Perfect.
Yeah, if it's something, or if you kind of start talking about it and there's more of a thought, like it doesn't have to be first thought, best thought. The Rorschach is to open it up and get the conversation flowing, and then for the questions, that's like all you. That's just like a conversation in a bubble.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Awesome. So yeah, I guess I'll crack at these images a little bit. I'm definitely from this one. I'm getting kind of like the retro Space Invaders, like the kind of like form there with like that line that's going between like the larger like form there in the middle, like kind of in the center part. I think that's all I'm really getting from it so far. But yeah, I think Space Invaders was like the first thing that popped into my head. This one, it's kind of has like, it almost looks like a weird like meshy like architecture to like some kind of cathedral. Like I'm getting kind of like these like really tall ceilings. Like I feel like I'm kind of like looking up like within like a massive space, and then there's like a tiny subject like directly in the center of it. This one definitely going into like the video game route again. My mind's there a lot, but I'm definitely getting like 2D spaceship. Like I have like kind of like the fuselage like area where you're inside of it in the front there, and it looks like that's where like fire or something would come out through the back. I guess my mind's on video games a lot.
Totally. I can't remember, but there's a video game that's like you're on a ship and it's that top-down perspective.
Yeah, exactly. Or like F-Zero too, like the Captain Falcon
the way
racing
that
game.
ship moves.
Yeah. And then this one I'm kind of getting like, this looks like a lot more like organic to me. Like I'm getting like kind of like almost like two halves of like a face kind of like splitting. So like it looks like almost like these very large eyes, almost from like a fish or something, I would say. It's like kind of like these very large eyes. And then this is kind of like the cheek like nose area. But like you don't get like the middle part of the face. It's almost like just like the cheeks and the eyes is like a side. And they're just like splitting apart there. And then this one, I'm definitely getting a mask, like just like immediately. Like I definitely could tell, like I can almost like recognize facial features, even though it's kind of odd that like the mouth is like one split up, so it's making like a heart shaped like V thing. But like also, I could definitely like see like the eyes right away. This one, I have no idea. This one's weird. Yeah, I'm getting almost like the background. It almost feels like two subjects, like kind of like centered within like a fire pit, and like what I'm seeing is like kind of like dissipating light. So like that outside background area is almost like kind of like when you like are at a campfire in the woods and like you look at like the trees and they're like very dimly lit and it like lacks detail.
Yeah.
I'm getting that, and like those two subjects are together, kind of like staring into that fire. And then this one just reminds me of like some sort of like cornfield, like something like very rural, like we're out in like an acres long like farm field with like surrounding woods, and then like that giant thing in the middle, it almost like makes me think of like kind of like weird like History Channel conspiracy videos where they have like some random alien spacecraft kind of land within like the middle of a space. like the ancient aliens shit like that. But yeah, it's definitely giving me like the vibes of like a larger landscape, something like a cornfield, and then having kind of like that weird kind of like almost unknown like orbital structure there in the middle. And then this one, it looks like some sort of like old Victorian like kind of like woodwork that you would see like on either like the edges of like a fancy building, like almost like kind of like that building that the Market Arcade that like the SEPA Gallery's in, or like it looks like something that would be like a golem or some sort of like fancy like architectural piece, or just like a piece of like something like the end of like a staircase in like a Victorian home or something. And then this one, I'm getting kind of like in the middle there, I kind of seeing like a skull that's like kind of looking to the left, to the right, and to like the center directly at the viewer, and like that piece on the top is kind of reminding me of like a top hat. And then there's kind of some like weird like either goo or like fire thing kind of going on in the background. And then that middle part too, I'm definitely getting like the vibes that that's like a collar. Like it's almost like this dude's like an 1800s dandy, but like he's also a skull.
He's doing a little dance.
Yeah, exactly.
Hellraiser glow up.
Yeah. And then this one's strange. I'm almost getting like kind of like Neon Genesis Evangelion vibes, where I'm like kind of getting like this kind of like weird like alien form. It's almost like its entire head is like a longular shape, and its like mouth is opening up almost like the entire length of it. It's like some really odd looking like creature, and it's like really hard to exactly make out what the background is. That's probably why I got kind of like alien creature right away, because like the environment itself I really can't like attribute or like familiarize it with anything. And then this one is definitely giving me like kind of like more kind of like sci-fi like space themes. Like I'm getting like a lot of like these very geometric lines, but almost from like a structure that looks somewhat futuristic. So like I'm getting kind of like the vibes of like that as being like the end of like either some sort of like fighter jet or like space shuttle, or like something that's like kind of like beyond what we have like created so far, but it looks like something that's like very industrial, but like also something that looks streamlined. So that's why I was like thinking flight. And then this one is strange because like I'm seeing like the silhouette there kind of on like the far left. It's definitely giving me like the vibes of like some sort of like demon, or like kind of like a personification of like Satan or something. And like kind of like that triangular shape almost like feels like a very long like cape, or like even like kind of like a symbol for like a demon, having like kind of like that demon face there. And then it kind of extrudes out into like a geometric like cape shape, almost like a flag, or like something that'd be like on a wall in like some kind of hell castle or something. And then this one, I'm definitely getting like a vibe like in kind of like the center, like the top and bottom there. Like it seems like some kind of like mask, and like it's obviously like very like geometric, like repeated pattern, something that you kind of see in like an acid trip, for example. But like the one thing I'm kind of getting like that little circular shape there. I'm kind of getting like the smiley face logo, but with only one eye in the center. So it's kind of like a Cyclops smiley face symbol.
That's what I always see.
Yeah. Oh, nice. And then also I kind of see like the face of like a figure that looks like really old. It's like a 200-year-old guy, like in like the center off the far side and the far right. Like I'm almost getting like a mustache, and then it looks like there's like a lot of like wrinkles, and his eyes are like wrinkly too. So I'm getting like this like person that like can't die and has just been on this earth for like 500 years, and that's like kind of like his curse. He's just kind of like stuck around.
Hanging out.
Yeah, exactly. And then I don't remember. Did I do this one already?
There's one very similar.
Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, it might be. Yeah, it might be like a very similar one. I'm getting like the vibes of like kind of like a very like large, almost like not like a cyberpunk city, but like I'm almost getting like Coruscant from like Star Wars, where like kind of like these endlessly tall skyscrapers and like these large like. Oh, I'm trying to think of like what the lights are called, but like the thing that the bat signal is, like those big strobe lights.
Skylights.
Yeah, skylights. Thank you. Yeah, that are just like it looks like they like if this was like more than one frame, they would just be kind of like moving back and forth. And then like it's just all the structures kind of just look like in the middle just look like larger than life. Like I'm kind of like looking at it from like the hill of like a cityscape. Like I'm almost looking down at Los Angeles from like the Hollywood Hill, for example. And then this one, like the texture on the top could either be like string lights or like beads. Like I actually almost see this as like a ball drop. Like I see like that middle part there as like the ball dropping at like Times Square or something. And also because like the shape of like those lights like kind of like goes off in like a V direction. Like I can't get like Times Square out of my head. But it's really weird because it looks like this like glowing beautiful ball is like in the center there, but like it looks like there's like human figures in the middle left and right that are like looking down and away from it, almost trying to like avoid looking at its light. So it like brings up like a lot of questions of like why they're avoiding it. And then this one, it almost looks like kind of like a microscopic image. Like I'm looking at like kind of like almost like looking at like bone or some sort of like organic like structure of like an organism through a microscope. Like kind of like the weird like meshy circular shapes. A lot of like organic shapes, some geometry, but like yeah, definitely like the appearance of like something kind of like smaller or microscopic. And then this one, I don't know, kind of like in the same realm, kind of. Like it's definitely giving me like kind of like looking at like yeah, like some like the inside of like somebody through like some sort of like X-ray machine or like not really like an X-ray machine because you'd be able to see like their bone structure and stuff. But it almost looks like we're like looking closely at like someone's like tissue.
I think that's the last one on that.
Cool. I feel like that was a great warm up. I like that as like a.
So you want to just go
Jump into
the glitch?
Yeah, I agree. You feel you're lubed up already, so we're gonna skip the paint ones.
Sweet.
Find a good base. We'll go with. I like this.
Have you noticed like a pattern in like answers you guys have got?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit.
The
but
top hat with the skull is very much
the
so.
top hat with the skulls, but there's been an interesting difference with some of this people, even just like today compared to when we did it the first time.
Ah, interesting.
Just wondering while I was away, did you mention anything about churches at all?
I mentioned a cathedral once. It was like one of the first ones.
We're getting a lot of that.
Oh yeah. I think it was like I'm trying to think if it was the second or the third one I mentioned.
It was
a cathedral.
an untraditional spot for the cathedral, I will say.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or semi-untraditional compared to, and then so yeah, this is more free flowing as you sort of start to see images.
Just
to
say
sort of
rapid fire.
shout them out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh wait, this is like another warm up exercise, kind of similar.
Yeah, this
okay.
is just a small.
So the images will continue to move as Silas does live glitch, and then you could just say what you see in the formations.
Gotcha. Formations are giving me like something kind of like feather-like, like they're kind of like stringy, but like not like totally thin. Like they're kind of coherent and come together. So like at first I was thinking like feathery structures. Now I'm kind of thinking like some sort of like weird like reflective orb, but it's kind of like creepy because I don't really know exactly what it's reflecting. And like, trying to think now. I'm getting like something kind of similar, but like kind of like these repeat patterns kind of make me feel like I'm in like a stadium or some sort of like weird coliseum with kind of like, oh, and those slashes kind of change things too. Yeah, because now I feel like it's like a coliseum and like these are like the audience members looking down it. It's like this like infinitely tall like stadium structure thing. Now looking at it, I'm definitely getting more like a aircraft, like sci-fi spaceship, something kind of like the realm of like Cowboy Bebop. Like I'm definitely like, especially with that black color, I'm definitely getting like the vibe that we're kind of like in like outer space with like nothing really like near us. And then, oh my gosh, whoa. And then like with these, I don't how to describe these, because it's kind of like a mix of like kind of like futurism and like medieval, where it's like I'm kind of looking at kind of like these weird like helmet shapes that are very like exaggerated, but like they almost look like something you could like forge out of like metal, for example. And now I'm definitely getting kind of like almost like I almost think the one of them I thought I saw like the nuclear symbol, but like these almost look like I'm in some sort of like weird like tunnel glowing structure, and kind of that red is like some sort of like alarm of some sort. Like I'm getting kind of like the red flashing light as like a reason why this space could be potentially dangerous that I'm in.
You want to cut?
Sure. Jump to questions.
All right. So we're gonna go into the vague questions.
All right, cool.
So now me and Silas are actually gonna leave the room.
Okay.
You're just gonna be alone with the camera, TVs, remote, and yourself.
Gotcha. Do you want me to like talk into this microphone?
No, you're doing quite fine.
Okay, awesome.
It has a very loud like gain on it right now.
Oh, good.
We don't really want the microphone in shot.
Okay, awesome.
So yeah, I mean, we would do just like a boom mic, but then we don't have that, so it's.
Oh, I
you know
got
what
you.
I mean?
Yeah, totally.
But so for the questions, I believe there's about 40 of them. Go at your own pace.
Okay.
Like I said, I don't know if I said it before, but like might spend 0 seconds on this one, 15 seconds, 5 minutes on this one.
Yeah.
But it's like whatever memories these bring up, whatever events or whatever you want out of it, just take your time with it.
Yeah.
And enjoy the process.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta say, it's a lot of fun so far. I've never really tried to like open up my unconscious. Like I was almost a little nervous at first because I'm like, oh my gosh, I just like whatever's in my head be turning into words immediately.
That's sort of the thing with the questions.
Yeah.
Is that if the questions just came right out the gate, it would be a bit.
Yeah, it'd be a
abrupt
lot.
and
Yeah.
intimidating. But like
Yeah.
doing the Rorschach tests really help with that. I feel like.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. For sure.
All right, we're cool.
Okay. Cool.
And then we're gonna close this on you.
All right, Tim.
Feel free to get naked now. But yeah, we'll see you whenever you're done. Just open the door and come and grab us. We'll be downstairs.
Okay,
Real quick, I'll
sounds
just
good.
Make sure that the mouse is working. So yeah, if you want to click that real quick.
Cook the thing.
Fantastic.
Okay, we're good.
Do you
Alrighty. Cool.
need to send them back one because they went forward? Or?
No, I set it to the
Okay.
first.
Awesome. Okay, what do you do? I guess I do quite a lot. Like, I'm trying to, like, just, like, my main goal is just, like, navigate, like, life's complexities, I guess. Like, just kind of, like, thinking through, not, like, vaguely, like, why I'm here, but, like, how I can impact, like, others during my time here, you know? Like, just, like, being a person. I don't know. It's just, like, a very small thing, kind of, like, thinking about, like, how long people have existed. So I guess like just like how to like make an impact, no matter what the way that is. Like I practice art. I just try to be good to people, I guess. Like I guess that's really my only goal in the end in terms of like what I do. It's just like I don't know. I guess a way to describe it is just trying my best. What I do is I try my best and whatever event comes up in life, because nothing's permanent, everything changes, but I mean, in the end, all I can do is my best. What world do I live in? I guess kind of like a pessimistic one, kind of like comparing it to like other kind of like eras, especially like kind of like my perspective as like kind of like in America in 2024 is like the world we're kind of living in is a bit pessimistic. Like we're kind of looking at a lot of like systemic problems and we're doing a lot of like deep reflection, which is good, but it almost feels like we're just so overwhelmed and over inundated with like images that it's like it's a really scary world, and it's too easy to kind of get into like the kind of doom scrolling realm, I guess. So like yeah, the kind of world we live in is a challenging one, but like one, hopefully in the end that like we do a deep reflection and kind of be able to improve like the circumstances for everybody in it. But yeah, right now it's I think challenging is kind of like the best word to describe it. Who cares? That is a great question. I guess I try to care. I guess that kind of goes into what do I do as well. Like I think everyone should care about something, be it like obligated to something, or just care about each other. Like I think a lot of like we have so many issues like with each other. It's because like people just don't have empathy. People just don't care about each other. So like I kind of like hope and expect that everybody cares about at least somebody in this world. I guess it happened a couple years ago. Like thinking about kind of like how I felt kind of throughout my life, where I've been very like lackadaisical, very kind of like a slacker-esque person. Couple years ago, I guess, is when like responsibilities, stressors, and kind of like maybe just like adulthood in general like really hit me. Was like kind of like coming out of like my undergrad and just like getting inundated with like responsibilities and things that I'm like expected to do, and like the person I'm like expected to be. I think it's like a good thing that I'm like like obviously a good thing, like like being able to bear like like the responsibility to like just like function as like a person is really important. But yeah, I think like a couple of years ago where it's like kind of like really hit me is just like thinking about like what I want to be, and like really kind of like I guess like just trying a lot harder as well, just like caring more about the things I'm doing, even if it leads to me being more stressed sometimes. In the end, it'll be worth it. Um, they're just like a really genuine great person. Without them in my life, I definitely would be a lot worse off. They've kind of been with me through, thick and thin. Just like dealing with like problems with like my mental or physical health, just like being there, and me also being there for them. And yeah, without them, I don't know, I think my life like would be considerably darker, and like I'd be considerably less optimistic about like my circumstances than I am now, and I wouldn't be the person that I am today without them. I don't really get there in time. I have a bad habit of being late to a lot of things. It's one of my weakest attributes is timeliness. I just feel like getting to um my work sometimes, like I don't know, like I literally can't like force myself to get out of bed and be on time sometimes, because like I don't know, like it's almost like the consequences aren't that great if I'm late. So like I don't see myself caring that much about being on time. Like just that couple minutes of like resting on my bed or like just being on my phone is like more worthwhile than actually being on time for that thing, which like I think is like a pretty bad habit, but something that, one of many things I need to work on in the future, I guess. I just have a bad habit of like overcommitting to things. I want like the most out of life, but like the more I kind of like go with that mantra of getting the most out of life, the more I realize I'm like kind of like almost overbooking myself. Like I feel like I'm putting myself through too many obligations, just stretching myself too thin, which is making kind of like all the experiences that I say yes to even worse. Like it would just be better if I was just able to like properly pick and choose things to say yes to, and like respect my own time as well. Like I'm just kind of burning like I'm just burning out quite often throughout my life, because I try just to like commit to everything. Like I have, I guess, like pretty major like fear of missing out, and I always obligate myself to like just like every possible request just for like the slight chance that it could be generative. But I think if I tried to say no more, then those experiences that I do say yes to, I can like obligate more of my time and like my attention to. I don't have to always say yes to everything. Even though I want to always be there, I want to always like help somebody if they're in need. I want to always like go to like this event that could potentially be fun, because like I would just feel bad missing out on said thing if I didn't go, and that's all that'd be on my mind the whole time. But I think that's just like a thing I need to work on in general, is just like trying to say no here and there. I try to be there for them. That's a tough one. I will, yeah, I'm there for them. Um in any time of need. Dealing with kind of like the dark parts of life. I'm gonna kind of be a big bag about it because I don't want to like kind of bring up other people's personal experiences without them knowing. But I'm definitely there for them when those situations come up. It's just luckily so far not many of them, like in terms of like the seriousness of it, that are like very serious things, haven't come up since we've been together. I did it because I just wanted to grow, I guess. Trying to like obligate myself to, I don't know, I thought like going to like school again and like pursuing a degree was gonna be the right choice for me in terms of growth, and it kind of was, but also it came at like a cost of honestly my mental well-being in a lot of cases. Like I'm a lot more stressed than I used to be. I'm taking on more responsibilities than I can handle most of the time. But I really thought that like it was now or never. Like I either do it now or I never do it again. And I thought it was just kind of like the only and perfect opportunity to do it. So why not just do it? And I don't know, I think I've grown as a person, especially over like since I've been there, over the past couple of years, but um, definitely has come at a cost as well. So kind of like back and forth on whether doing it was worthwhile for me or not. I think I'm okay. I don't know. It's a lot of back and forth. I mean, tomorrow I might not be okay. It's kind of like a pendulum. I want to work on being in a more consistent headspace, but unfortunately not. When I get into like kind of like deep depressive funks, like I can't really seem to like shake those feelings or like kind of like look at the glass half full or just to like kind of like see the optimism or the things that you know, that I'm thankful for within kind of like within the dark times that I have here and there. But like I think overall, like there's enough like great times, there's enough times that I feel good about myself or that I'm proud of myself for doing something that kind of mix in with like kind of like the darker, more depressive times that like I think all in all I'm definitely doing okay. Could always could be doing better. Always something that I want to work on, but yeah, for I think overall I'm doing okay. I offer my help, um, you're like just like listening to others. Um, yeah, just try to offer my attention, especially when I feel that someone else is going through something. I know like when I like enter kind of like darker times, like just having like someone there just to listen and kind of like relate to what you're saying is like the most important part. So, yeah, I think like in terms of like an offering, yeah, just kind of like offer my time and my attention because in the end, that's like what people need is just time and attention. Who are they? I might skip that one. I don't think I have a good answer for who are they. Yeah, definitely sorry for what I did. It was a long time ago, kind of in like the middle school area, and yeah, I just felt like the people around me that were there for me and wanted to be my friend, I didn't treat in the ways that I wanted to. Kind of in that time frame that I definitely like only prioritized myself. Obviously that's part of growing up, but it's still something I kind of like reflect on here and there. It's just like how I treated others like during my kind of like time, not just like as a kid, but like going into like high school as well as I was trying to like just like become more mature, become like something closer to an adult. Yeah, I didn't treat my friends or people in general the way I wanted to. I, I I dealt with like a lot of things in terms of like people like treating me poorly, and I think I probably took it out on others in a way as well. So I'm definitely sorry for what I did, and yeah, all I can do is just try to grow from that. And I definitely feel like I've been. I think like now I'm like a totally different person from what I was before. No, I don't think this is it. There's definitely like a lot more I want to do. I mean, I don't know. I'm about to hit quarter life crisis, they call it, age 25 or whatever. But obviously, since it's like quarter life, like I still definitely think there's like a lot more to go. What those things are, I have no idea. I don't know. I guess in my head, it's not even worth predicting because like life is chaotic and you never know where you're gonna go or where you're gonna end up or what things you're gonna want to do or what people you meet. But it's definitely not it. That's why I can like kind of have optimism through my day to day life. Is just because I know that there's more. Like what that is, not entirely sure. If it's good or bad, no idea. But I know there's some more to explore, like so many new things just to learn about like the world and about myself. So, and like things I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to like the next stages of my life and what those things will be. So yeah, it's definitely not it. There's definitely a lot more to go. What do I see? I see a lot of confusion. A lot of like what I'm about and like what I do is like making work about like kind of like confusing or contradictory spaces that I'm in. Like kind of like thinking I know something and then it being something totally different from what I thought. It's kind of, I guess, that thing like seeing isn't really believing. Yeah, so what I see is like just like what I see is uncertainty. Like even like images I look at on like the internet, like it's undetermined whether those images are like real or AI, for example. What I see is just like vagueness, like what is real, what is not real. It's just kind of like a big question mark. What do I like about it? This one might take me a second. I just like the ability to like just kind of like meet new people and establish like community. Um, I'm thinking about it as like the spaces that I'm currently occupying, like the places I'm currently going on a regular basis. My first, second, and third spaces. I like just the ability to like see people on a regular basis. Talk about keep ourselves posted on like our lives and like what stressors we're potentially having or what things we're feeling optimistic about. And just having that regular community, which is so important in like a day and age where we don't have like great resources for meeting new people or building community. So yeah, I think that's probably the part I like about like about it most is yeah, just the ability to like get to know new people and kind of make new connections and just have other people around because we can't like exist in this life alone. I think I do a good job. Not a great job, but like I think I think I'm actively trying. Like in the end, like that's the point. Like I guess that's just like the point of life is like kind of like no matter like what you're doing, as long as like you're giving it a good effort, like you're trying your best, and like also like balancing that with like taking time for yourself. I think a good job can be a variety of things. I mean, as long as you're not like actively like harming others kind of like in your like going through like your life experience and like you're kind of like a net positive for the community around you. I think that no matter like how much or how little, like that is enough to kind of constitute a good job in my book, is just like helping others progress through their life, or like helping the people in your community, no matter what that is. Like it could be like such like a long list of things, but I guess like that's kind of like the scale that I'm looking at in terms of doing a good job is if you're there for others and you do right by the people around you. I think I'm different. Not in a bad way. I see different as something that's like a very positive attribute. I guess I've always been kind of considered different throughout my life as an individual who's neurodivergent, and um, I think I've always been kind of been looked at as different, and in that context, like going through like the public school system as a neurodivergent person, almost like in a negative light sometimes. But I think like how I view it is I'm definitely like different in a positive way. Like just I don't know, just trying to kind of like I mean uh, I guess I don't know. Like trying to think of like the reasons that I'm different. Yeah, I guess just like how my brain works, kind of like the things I like am interested in and looking into, regardless of like how niche. Um, I and I think there's like a lot of people that do that too. And like difference like a complicated term because like I don't want to be like hyper individualist and try to like claim that I'm like this unique person, but I think everybody's different. I think everybody has like their own unique experience and own unique attributes to bring to like the table or to like the conversation that we're having like as like a wider society. So I guess like we're all different, which kind of makes like the question "Are you different?" really confusing because are you different? I mean, we're all different, but it kind of makes us the same. It's definitely kind of like definitely a bit of a conundrum, I guess. But I think like overall, yeah, I think about like experiences and think about the world and at least try to think about it in a different way. Because like I guess that's what progress is. It's just someone thinking about something differently. What's the point? Man, I have no idea. What's the point? Yeah, I have no clue. I guess that's something I'm hoping to figure out later. Like, like once I move on to like whatever's next, if there's an afterlife that or whatever's, exist after like the death of like a human. So I guess that's kind of like what's the point is like a question I'm almost procrastinating. It's like I guess I'll just figure that out later. Because I don't know, it's just like life's such a chaotic place. Like it's hard to really like establish like what the point is. And I guess like the point can just be like your point. Like what point do you want to make going through life? So yeah, I guess for me, yeah, it'll come. I think it'll come. Like that's one of those questions where I'm like, I think naturally it'll reveal itself to me. So it's something I don't like actively think about a whole lot. Why do I think the way I do? I don't know. I guess just like reinforcement throughout my life. I think that's why everybody thinks in the individual way that they do is like past experiences. I definitely think like in the language of kind of like my childhood nostalgia, like the things that I enjoyed, like the types of things that I enjoyed, like are definitely kind of like wrapped into like the language of like how I think today. So I think like all modes of like thinking are kind of like attributed to like kind of like an earlier time. Like that's like kind of like when habit forming starts and like why we think about things the way we do now. But also there's also it's kind of like it goes a little bit the other way too, where like the reason I'm thinking the way I did to like am today is also through like current experiences. I can't really describe like in detail which specific ones kind of like like helped me develop into like the mindset that I have today. But yeah, it's hard to kind of like nail down like specific things, but like yeah, it's just kind of I think it's all just based on experiences, past or present. Who am I? I guess in reality, it's just like another person that exists in this world, trying to find their way, find their purpose, find their community. Um, yeah, just like I think we're all kind of here for the same reason, and it's just like, we were put on this earth, and we're just trying to find our way, like navigate our way, find like what quote I guess like happiness is, or like what are what are spaces we're comfortable in, and like other people that can relate to that experience as well. Like you just want like to be comfortable, to have like a nice support system, to occasionally feel challenged, not like in like a what we're in today, which is like a constant like overbearing, overstressing like hustle culture challenges, but like just being like challenged enough to like where you feel like you're progressing through life. So I guess I'm just looking for the similar things that everyone else is looking for. What would you like? I guess financial stability would be the first one. Just enough like so I could like, just feel like comfortable, like, I'm not like, I don't have like overdue bills or like an enormous amount of like debt like I have right now with student loans. I guess that's the first thing that comes to my mind, because like that would just like alleviate like a lot of stressors. It's just being like, I don't know, financially comfortable. So I think that would be kind of like first off, and then like being like relieved by that would put me in a different space for the rest of my challenges in life. But what would I like? Yeah, definitely financially comfortable. I do get pissed. I'm not currently pissed like in this moment. I'm definitely like a bit underslept, a bit tired, but also having like a pretty good time right now. I'm like thinking through this activity, but I definitely have my moments. Like I think it's like hard for me to like control my anger occasionally, and especially over like the past couple of days, I've had really stressful situations in my life. So I'm thinking about like, yeah, I definitely get pissed, and I wish I could be like more level-headed and kind of be able to process my emotions quicker sometimes, because because when I get pissed, like it's hard to see anything else except the anger. Like I can't see the things that make me happy, like the things that like, keep me going. I just like in a headspace where I'm just like extremely angry, and the only things I'm thinking about are like horrible negative things in my head. So yeah, I'm not like personally pissed, but like I guess like I'm just like some like the circumstances like of our current like political climate, or like how I look at like ecology, those things piss me off, because it's like hard to like not think about these things that could potentially like end our world as like something to be like happy about, especially when you see so much inaction in the world, and it's all being fueled by who's getting paid what. So I think in some ways I'm really pissed, but also I have to balance that with things I'm thankful for, because if I was just like pissed exclusively all the time, like life would be a lot worse than what it is for like me personally. Am I scared? Not necessarily. I think in the end things will be okay. I think like, I don't know. I don't think scared's the right word. I think like I think I'm anxious. Like I'm definitely like kind of in a space where like definitely like looking at the future can be exciting sometimes. But also, yeah, there is like also a side of me that like looks at these situations, and I'm like, yeah, I'm scared. I'm a little bit terrified of like what's to come next. Like what. But that's like just part of the human condition. Like we're kind of like we're confronted with things like that what we can't predict, and that's like, yeah, a pretty scary experience. But am I scared? Just in general, not really. I definitely, I think feelings of scared definitely come into my life pretty often, especially thinking about the future. But I don't think I'm just like always scared, or like have that as like a consistent mood or mindset. What? Oh man, that's as vague as it gets. Is what? Yeah. what is I might have to. That one's so vague that it's kind of breaking my brain a little bit. Yeah. That might be the most existential question of this entire project is what. What can be so many things? Yeah, it's just like it's just like everything around me, good, bad, or neutral, is what I guess. It's just literally everything. So, yeah, I guess the answer to that is I guess I don't have much of an answer. It's just kind of blowing my mind a little bit. It's just hard to wrap my head around. What was it the right thing to do? I'm not entirely sure. I think it's definitely like a complicated question. Like what I'm thinking about is like how like a lot of like the minimum wage customer service jobs I've worked at, I've like definitely like like stolen like things like food, or like when I worked at a thrift store, I stole like the clothes that I thought were cool or something like that. I'm kind of conflicted with it because obviously stealing isn't right, but also it's like stealing from like multinational corporations that are underpaying me, so like they're kind of stealing my time and my labor and not compensating me the correct way for my time or my labor. So yeah, I guess like I don't know. I don't. It's not the right thing to do, but like I don't think it's like the wrong thing to do at the same time as well. Like I don't. Like I don't feel. I guess I don't feel particularly guilty by stealing from someone that has like like hundreds of times the wealth that I have, and they're paying me a wage that is like not even like really livable, even at like a 40-hour work week clip. So, was it the right thing to do? No, but it wasn't the wrong thing to do, I guess. Are you there? Today I kind of been a little bit spaced out, really underslept. Only had like a few hours of sleep. I'm kind of just working off of like sugar and caffeine today. So am I there? In some moments I feel like I'm there, in other moments I'm drifting off into like space. I don't feel like I'm fully there, I guess. I feel like I'm kind of like partially there, occasionally like coming back to reality. But am I there? Not fully. Why not? There's just, I don't know. I think like why not almost feels like kind of like trying to like be inspirational quote. Like I'd see it like on like a poster in an office or something. Um, but yeah, I mean, why? I mean, I guess there's just so many limiting factors to like why not, like why don't I just do like, because like my main goals, like one of my main goals coming out of like finally getting out of the education system is like being able to like travel and go out more, but I really don't see that in my future, just in terms of like the why not, I guess, being like kind of like financial concerns and like concerns with like needing to like find, because I have to be transitioning jobs now, so I need to like find something kind of immediately, and I won't have a whole lot of time off because of that to do the things I want to do, like travel. So, yeah, I think there's like, I guess, a variety of like limiting factors for like why I don't want to do the things that I necessarily want to do. Unfortunately, that's just kind of what life is sometimes. It's like you're not always able to do the things that you want. But like I think over time I need to actively think a lot more about like how I can eventually get to those things, because if I'm never reaching those goals, then what's the point of like doing things like work or trying to earn money if I'm not eventually getting to like an activity or something that like makes me happy or makes like my partner happy. When will it come true? I'm not sure. I'm definitely quite a daydreamer, just through my day-to-day life. Especially if I'm like in my morning routine, like driving in the car or something. Yeah. I think like kind of like daydream space and like reality space are kind of like separate worlds for me. Like the daydreams that I have like don't really necessarily need to come true. I don't really, I kind of think of them as like separate entities where like I'm not going to be like saddened, or I'm not expecting to like reach like some of like the really lofty expectations of a daydream. I think it's just like a space that like I enjoy just like being in, just for like a few, like, you know, moments here and there within the day when like reality just feels like too much. So when will it come true? I guess my answer to that is, I guess, doesn't really matter too much. It doesn't necessarily need to come true. I think, like, you know, like the dream space for me is just like a reprieve, or like like just like a brief escape from like the stressors of reality. So it doesn't necessarily need to come to fruition for me. So when it'll come true, like hopefully at some point, but it doesn't have to. Like, I don't have a lot of like thought on it either way, but what's different? I'm just doing a lot more compared to what I used to do. I guess like thinking about like my childhood and like my experience in high school is always like doing like the least amount possible. Like I was kind of like happy in that space, but I also didn't feel totally fulfilled. So I guess what's different now is like I have a lot more responsibilities, but I'm definitely being a lot more active, like trying to pursue like meeting new people, building community, pursuing like my artistic practice, or just like pursuing like like more responsibilities in my life. So I just getting to like kind of like some more of my bigger goals. Like before I didn't really have like larger goals or aspirations, but yeah, now I'm just kind of like trying to like put more things on my plate. I need to do a better job of like balancing that with like, you know, like relaxing, things like that. But I think what's different now is I just put like more on my plate. Just put higher expectations on myself as well. Why did you say no? I just felt like, I don't know, I answer kind of similar to the why did you say yes question, is just like stretching myself too thin and just thinking that there's only a certain amount of time that I have in a day, and I need to kind of like preserve my mental health. I need to preserve like just like my time, like the people, like the things I choose to do, the people that like are around me. I just need to kind of like prioritize like kind of like the important things. And I guess just like at that point, that thing just felt like I was doing too much, or just didn't feel like something I was entirely comfortable with doing at that point. Do you see it working out? Eventually I see it working out. Right now it's kind of like hard to like kind of see like the light at the end of the tunnel sometimes, and that's why I become like occasionally like pessimistic. But I think I see it working out. Like right now, it definitely like I'm kind of in a space where it's like I'm thinking about like what my purpose is, or like what I actually like want to do with like the rest of my life. Like, will I ever get to like a space where I'm like comfortable in like the spaces or communities that I'm in? And I see it working out eventually. How those things will work out, I have no idea. But like that's just one of those things that time will tell. Who? I guess just like thinking about like who. I guess I'm just like thinking about like kind of like my family dynamic a little bit. Thinking about like how we're gonna like develop like together. I feel like there's like points in time where I feel like I'm not like horribly close to them, and there's other times like there's times I wish I could like see them more, or that we'd be like closer. Like I always see like people like have like that have like siblings that they're almost like best friends with, and I just don't feel that way with my particular family dynamic. So like I don't know. I guess like the who to me kind of represents kind of like the mystery of like we hardly know each other, even though we've been around each other like, you know, like for a good chunk of our lives. So like we almost feel like anonymous people, like we can't relate to each other. And it's like something that like what that's one of my goals is like how do we become closer together? Like why is there kind of like that unconscious separation between us? Are you here? I don't think I am. I like being like present, like in the present moment, like being within that space without like my head or like my thoughts going to other places. Like I don't I hardly ever feel like I'm there. Like I'm a constant daydreamer. I have a horrible attention span, probably due, internet. So, I a lot of the times like I just don't feel like I'm like totally here, totally present, like I would want to be. Like I'll go home at like the end of the day and like try to write down my thoughts for the day or like different ways I was feeling and like different moments I was in, and it's like almost hard to reflect on it. And those activities and things literally happen that day. So like I definitely don't feel like I'm like totally present. How long until then? A couple of months. I'm thinking about like finally graduating and getting out of the education system once and for all. Oh man, I am so excited. Yeah, just to like get out of that space. It's caused me a great amount of stress due to like a lot of issues I've had there. So yeah, just a couple of months, and then I feel like it'll be like a new point or like a big transition in my life where I can finally, like at least take the first month or two just like off just to take for me. I have like a pretty easy job I can work at for like the time being until I like really establish applications and resumes and like develop like what I want to do in the long haul. But like yeah, a couple more months and then I can finally relax again. I don't have to finally feel like there's always too much on my plate. I can finally just take some time. Why did you stop? Just too much going on. I stopped doing a lot of the things that I've liked, mostly because there's just too much other stuff going on. Like I feel like I'm just constantly have like a list of tasks to do throughout my day. So like if I like get home and actually have like maybe an hour to myself at most, like I don't have the time to actually do the things I like. Like I love like video games and I love just like having activities that take my mind off of the day to day stressors that I go through. So yeah, like just stop doing like relaxing activities that I like because like there's almost like no time, which sucks, but at the very least it's temporary and I'll be back in a space where I can take the time I need to do the some of the activities I want very soon. When Good question. I'm thinking about it like as like kind of like I guess like a character flaw of mine is like when am I gonna finally be like satisfied with like things that I've done or like goals I've set for myself. I think part of my problem is like I'll put a lot of like work into something and a lot of effort, time, and attention into something. And then when I do that thing or I accomplish it, I'm already over it and on to the next thing. So I'm thinking about the question when is like when I'm gonna finally like settle down and just be like happy with like the thing that I did, like happy with like and just like sit down and like breathe and like take it easy and just like enjoy like the thing I created or the activity I did or the goal I set for myself. Like just to like be like proud of the fact that I did that before just like immediately moving on to like the next thing. Was it wise? I think I'm gonna skip that one. I'm not entirely sure. Was it wise? Yeah, nothing's coming off to the top of my head. I think I'll skip that one. Okay, that might be the end of the screen's blank. I guess I'll try to hit the button one more time. Oh, there we go. What did I get from it? Was this the same question? I'm trying to think whether this was repeating or not. How about that? Okay, this one's a new one. I know this one's a new one. Yeah, I guess how about it? Yeah, I guess I just think about like how about that just kind of reminds me of like weird interactions I've had from my day to day where like I kind of like unexpectedly run into people in places I don't usually see them and like just like kind of like the weird kind of like moments where you think like oh it's such a small world that like excuse me like this particular thing happened in this particular space. So yeah, when I think about how about that is like kind of like how we connect with each other sometimes and like how like weird like circumstances regardless of like what like the statistical chances of these things happening, they're just like occasionally just like these crazy things are just happening in front of us. So like yeah, like I think how about that is just like kind of like getting me to think about like the wonder like that is like and I often forget about this is like how like weird and kind of like wonderful like the world can be and like how like these weird like happenstances occur like constantly throughout our lives. Okay, so I don't think that's going right now, but let's see. For a moment. Hey, it's stuck on how about that. I'm not sure what. No, that is the last one. Yeah. Okay, sweet, awesome. Yeah, I'm good though.
How'd you like it?
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I said a lot of things I wasn't expecting to say.
That's all. That's exactly.
That's what we strive for.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a great time though. Definitely haven't really done an exercise like that before, so it's definitely put me in like a lot different of a headspace, a lot more reflective of a headspace than I thought.
That's one of the things I'm really excited for with this project is I think modern times artists especially get so little time to like actually like have those questions and ask them in a way that isn't like encouraged to be a full like you have one feeling as an artist and it's like well I need to spend 4 years putting this together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So it's like nice to have a place to like
which is what we're doing with this. On the opposite side.
Yeah.
We're like the Green Mile. We're just like walking up to artists and just being like, give us all your trauma.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had the last people that were in here say that it was like a therapy